Hi, my name is Scott. I'm an incoming freshman at Georgia Tech from out of state. I'm doing engineering, and by the time I graduate, my net worth will be $500,000. Here's how I'm going to do it. So, where am I at right now? I'm an incoming freshman in college. I make most of my money from doing one on one tutoring that I mostly get from TikTok, and I have around 20K followers on social media. I also just signed a monthly retainer with a company that I probably can't say, but I will say later. And my net worth is a little under 3% of that 500K mark. All right, so when I say net worth, what do I really mean? It's six things. You have cash accounts, investment accounts, retirement accounts, crypto holdings, real estate, and equity value. I'm only going to count cars if I paid for it myself, so my current car right now, which is a Civic, will not count. So why is the SAT valuable? First off, test optional is not the same as test blind. If you're applying to most schools and you have a shit SAT or you don't have one, then you're at a disadvantage. So you have to pretty much get a good SAT score. The SAT is one of the main things in the admissions process that's standardized. It doesn't matter what school you go to, it doesn't matter how expensive your private school is. If you get a good score on the test, then you know your stuff. If you don't, then you don't. Some people on social media talk about how the SAT is biased towards higher income individuals. This is kind of bullshit because most resources that you need for the SAT are free and online, so you don't really need to pay for a tutor unless you are just not understanding the concepts at all or you need a very, very high score boost. You have to have a good SAT if you want to get into a top school or a good college, barring the UCs in California, whatever. Before I give you this example, I want to preface this by saying you can be successful regardless of what college you go to. It really depends on you at the end of the day, but I'm just using median stats here. So let's say you're a student, you have a 3.8 GPA and a 1200 SAT, your extracurriculars are fine and your essay is fine. Scenario one, you don't get a tutor over the summer after your junior year. You bullshit, you smoke weed, you party, you go out with your friends, whatever. You don't increase in the SAT and you get rejected from your dream school, Georgetown, and your state school. Immediately, you miss out on 25K of scholarships and you get the median salary of 50K after graduation. Now, scenario two, you spend $1,000 on a tutor. Assuming it's a decent one, you get a 1400 on the SAT, your GPA remains about the same, and you end up getting into Georgetown and into your state school, and you get 25K in scholarships as well. You decide to attend Georgetown and you end up with the median salary of 95K after you graduate. In scenario one, you decided to go the community college route and then you went to the state school after 2 years of whatever it is. And then you end up with the 50K median salary after you graduate. Scenario two, you get into Georgetown, you graduate, you end up with the 95K median salary. Now, I'm going to assume that you work for 40 years and you get around a 3% raise every year, which is kind of the industry standard. I just kind of asked ChatGPT what that is. In scenario one, the community college route, you get $4 million before taxable expenses throughout the course of your life. Now, scenario two, you get $7.5 million before tax or expenses. In scenario one, you just lost out on $3.5 million plus that 25K in scholarships. This is exactly why the SAT is so valuable, and this is why parents will spend 5, 6, 7K on bullshit SAT courses, even if they know that it's not that good. Because personally, if I struggled on the SAT, I would spend like $3,000 because what's $3,000 versus $3 million over the course of your life? I mean, you're really just weighing the options. Now, some people don't really understand this because they think they'll be a billionaire without college because they see TJR on TikTok and they think they'll become a billionaire, but usually this isn't the case. TikTok is making our generation delusional in their abilities. I just had to clear that up for the people who don't understand that. So let's go ahead and break down the market here. I think that the current SAT market is broken. Around 2 million-ish students take the SAT every year. Around 2/3 of those students use some form of SAT prep. Billions every year are spent on overpriced courses, shitty tutoring, and shitty SAT advice. The SAT prep total market spend is somewhere around $2 billion every year. Test prep corporations like Princeton Review and Huntington will charge you up to $7K for a shitty tutor who's 65 years old and took the test in 1977. All of their tutors speak like professors, they're not relatable at all, they're boring. On the other hand, the average high schooler watches 3 hours of TikTok every single day, and they learn from short, punchy, easy content, not from dull, boring, professor-like tutors. Essentially, students have TikTok brain, and paying for a dull, boring 65-year-old tutor is not what you should be doing. My point is that the industry is outdated and hasn't adapted to Gen Z's declining attention spans and TikTok brain. Essentially, the two sides of the field are just not coinciding with each other. So essentially the market is fragmented, and that's where I can just kind of slide in. The average test prep center has 3 brand pillars: old school, unadaptive, and dull. My market counter positioning is relatability, score over concepts, community, and authenticity. I'll explain what that means in a second. What does relatability mean? Relatability means I talk like a student and I have the same energy as a student because I am a student. So I know what these people can relate to in their head, and I can talk to them like an actual human. What does score over concepts mean? So I prioritize the score rather than the tedious little shitty information that the 65-year-old tutors teach you. All I do is teach you how to use the digital calculator, which you get, and that could be the most important thing on the entire test. Essentially, I don't have any bullshit. I teach you what you need to know and not what you don't. Now, third brand pillar is community. Community really means that I'm kind of building a group of people that are around the same skill range and they can talk to each other online. It's kind of like a bunch of people that are friends. It's like a friend group. Because think about it, most test prep centers, just you walk in, there's a professor, he teaches you, and then you leave. There's no community aspect. It's just boring old tutoring. Number 4, I don't bring any bullshit. I'm authentic. I just keep it real like most test prep centers don't. So essentially this little niche that I have will allow me to eat up a little piece of the pie in the market, and that's really all I need. Like, think about it. The SAT doesn't have anyone that is really the face of test prep. Think about day trading. You think of TJR. When you think about real estate, you think about like Grant Cardone. When you think about sales, you think about Alex Hormozi. The SAT market doesn't really have anyone like that, but it's gonna be me. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about the business model. This is the actual hard part, and it's the fun part as well. So phase 1, this is the hard part. I'm building my SAT community and my TikTok. I'm posting twice a day. I'm gathering all my testimonials, and I'm just trying to gain as many followers and community members as I can. The whole point of this is not to make money, but to show people that I am who I am and I can do the shit that you need. Now, phase 2, once I hit 30K followers and 500 community members, I'm gonna launch a low ticket offer. It'll be like $200 to $300, and the point of this is not to make money, but rather to gather testimonials and prove to people that I can give you value. I'll make around 20K to 30K off of this, assuming I don't go broke on paid ads, but like I said, the whole point is not to make money, but rather to gather a community and build testimonials. Now, phase 3, this is the moneymaker here. Once I reach 100K followers and around 1,500 community members, I'm gonna launch a high ticket offer, anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000. I don't really know yet. We'll get there later, but the whole point is to launch a program that guarantees you success. It has everything: resources, prep plans, one-on-one tutoring every week, weekly group calls, you name it, it's in it. This program that I'm gonna give is gonna be much cheaper than any alternative like Princeton Review, which is like 5K, and it's much better. So I have price advantage and I have quality advantage. This is gonna net me at least 100K if all goes well, assuming I don't go broke on paid ads, like I said before. All right, now phase 4, this is the boring part. Once I'm making money, all the money is gonna go into index funds, my Roth IRA, and real estate. I'm considering buying a duplex in Georgia and renting that out for cash flow, and then that property will appreciate and I get cash flow. So it's kind of like a win-win. And best case scenario, I help to scale the other company that I'm being paid for right now. And if I can get a decent equity share, then that would be worth a little bit in the future. I'm really excited for that company, so I think it has a lot of potential. Now, the wealth building part. This is pretty easy. I save and invest 80% of my profit at least. My only expense is paid ads. I don't really spend money for shit, so this is the easy part. Everything I earn is invested into index funds, retirement accounts, and real estate. Pretty easy. All right, so for the timeline, for phase 2, I think I'll hit 30K followers and around 500 members in around October or September. I'm gonna sell my low ticket offer for a month or 2. Now, phase 3, the moneymaker, hopefully I'll hit 100K around summer of next year and 1,500 community members around summer of next year as well. I think I'll sell for around 2 to 3 months. We'll see. If this goes well, I'll make around 100K, and by my sophomore year in Georgia Tech, my net worth will be around 150K. This isn't even counting my equity share. This is going straight off of my SAT prep. From there, I start phase 4. I rinse, I repeat, and I invest. It's pretty simple. So why of all people will I win? Number 1, I have counter positioning in the market. Most test prep companies are shit, and I'm better. Number 2, I have a unique presence on social media. People like watching my videos at least a little bit. I think I'm a little entertaining, but it's your opinion at the end of the day. So number 3, I know the audience because I'm a part of it. I'm also a student, so I know what they want to hear and to see. Number 4, the SAT is not going anywhere anytime soon. AI will not replace it, and even if another test does replace it, I'll just switch to that one. It's no big deal. Number 5, students don't have a friendly connection with their 50-year-old tutor that they get, but they will with me because I'm like their friend. Number 6, if students are happy with me as their tutor, then their parents will be as well. And number 7, the market is fragmented, which gives me an opportunity to just slide in there. I know this is kind of a bold video to make, and if I don't hit 500K by the time I graduate, then I'll look like a dumbass, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. If I hit it, then I'm him. If I don't, then I'm a dumbass. If you want to stay updated, then go ahead and subscribe for me. If you don't, then I don't really give a shit. And if you guys could leave some words of disencouragement or hate in my comments, I would really appreciate it. If you have any recommendations for me, then shoot me a DM on Instagram or just leave a comment. I don't really care. Thanks for watching.